A quick introduction to getting the assignment started in Mudbox. Let's go File, New Scene, and let's bring the human body. Okay, that will be our default guy for the assignment. And you can continue using this character as you progress to the class on those Dropbox assignments. Notice that you have the UVs already done. So in the UV view, you can simply see that the UVs are already laid out, so that you don't have to do any more UV mapping on it. So just focus on the texturing. So let me show you here how to use the tools. You have sculpting tools. In this case, we're going to use the paint tools, and make sure you're on the paintbrush tool. That's the one that we're going to use for this. The first thing I want to do is I want to set a base layer. You always need to put think of Photoshop as you work in layers. You know, the bottom layer is your background layer, background color, and then as you paint on it, you know, all those, you know, little layers right above the background layer, you can edit. That's very much how Mudbox reads the layers here, and you're going to start seeing here, I'm in layers over here, you're going to see how they start showing up as we start working on our character. Okay, the first thing I want to do is fill the character with our base color. So let's pick a base color. Let's say that, you know, that default color is fair skin will work out well. Let's scroll down to the flood paint layer. Okay, and because the idea is to flood it, you know, just paint the whole character the same color with that layer. Okay, and on the settings, I'm going to use 512. So, and then on the channel, you have all this to paint that you can use, you know, opacity, specular, and all different attributes that you see also in 3D Studio Max and Maya. But for this assignment, let's use the diffuse. Okay, and say okay. From there, what you want to do is to start creating areas of, you know, more darkness or less darkness on the character. Let me close this one here so that you don't get confused. And by that I mean, you know, the character seems to have some highlights, but it's an effect that you're getting from the light on the scene, the CG light. So I'm going to go to the color, and I'm going to make that color a little bit darker. You see how it, you know, gets a little bit darker here, and close there so that we don't get confused. And let me show you what that does. You know, it's pretty much now you start painting on your character, and you're going to notice, I don't know if you see it, but you're starting to paint darkness. And let me make the strength to 100 so that you can see it. Strength, you can think about it as the opacity. And it's not, oops, sorry, it's not registering. Let's change the color because let's make red, and done. I think that's the part I missed. The window was off, so off the screen, so I missed that part. There you go. Now it's working. So when you paint on the character, you're gonna see that you're pretty much painting the, you know, the color that you decided here. Remember, it can get a little bit confusing sometimes because you're seeing the highlights from the, you know, from the CG light, but remember, you're painting color into the geometry. Let me undo that red tone now that we saw how it works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a lighter color. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool here to sample the base color that we just added to our character. And I'm going to go a little bit darker. There you go. And done. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start painting a little bit of, you know, muscles wherever the muscles, let's say, bump over the surface. You know, when the light hits the character, there's a shadow underneath, and that's kind of the effect that we want to create.